next speaker, who's from NAFID. Her name is Monica Kalia, who's the DMD at NAFID. Monica ji, are you there?
Yes, yes, I'm there, very much there.
Good to see you, ma'am. How are you?
Yes, very fine. How are you, Amul? Very
Wonderful.
interesting deliberations going on.
First of all, you tell me, ma'am, are you very happy because finance minister mentioned the name of NAFID in her budget speech?
Yes, yes. And it happened twice in a row. Last budget also we got some mention for the PCE, and now at least for that they are happy that they created a good institution. So really a good feel to have.
Yeah, certainly. So the government has put a strong focus on infrastructure since many years now, and in fact, every year they have been increasing the public capex and specifically the infrastructure side, ma'am. So my question to you is, considering the strong focus on infrastructure, what kind of opportunities and growth do you see for yourself and specifically for the sector now?
See, what we believe is that, if India needs to reach to the next level of, get out of that mid-income trap, I think infrastructure is going to be the focus. We're happy to see the numbers, although, people are saying that, these are big numbers which have been put into the capex. But then, this is infrastructure-led budget, I would say. And the actually, if we are talking about, a growth number of around 7% or 8% of the GDP, it can actually go up to 10% if the focus on the infra really stays long and the private capex also starts, matching the public capex, what is coming in. So what is coming for us is basically, I think, a lot of many new opportunities which have been announced, with respect to dedicated freight corridors,
Yes.
the operationalizing of the national waterways, and development of the tier 2, tier 3 cities. Then we have data centers which are coming up, which have got, tax benefits, tourism, skill universities, and, whole of the health sector which is coming in. So these are all, the next part which I'll talk about is this is the lending opportunity. The second part which we talk is, the development of the bond markets. So the
Hmm.
municipal bonds we have seen, in addition to the Amrit scheme which is going on, they have already given, 100 crore of benefit for 1,000 crore and above mini bond which may come up to the market.
Hmm.
And again, a new usage of the corporate bond with respect to the total return swaps which has come in. So
Right.
I think these are very good push. Now all we have to see that private capex, while we say it is only the private developers who bring in the equity, but when I say the private capex need to match, it may be in the form of savings of the retail investors, which gets parked in the pension and the insurance funds. So that also need to get into the corporate bond market. So give it a right push. And we have seen the infrastructure. NPS coming down to the lowest level in the recent
Right.
past, and we can safely say that this particular segment has become risk free and coming
Hmm.
up with the partial credit enhancement kind of products, and even now that new infrastructure risk guarantee fund which has been announced. So both of these combined together, I think they are kind of de-risking the risk which these long gestation period projects carry with them. So overall, a good push and a good intent again, once again, to make this sector very safe for the retail investors also to come in.
Okay, certainly. How do you see your borrowing now in the market? Are you going to raise more? Are you going to, disburse more?
See, disbursement safely, if we say, even with the present numbers where we have, we maybe, increasing our balance sheet size by another 40-50% safely each year. And with these new sectors which are coming up, which is basically the push to the data centers which has come up, the push for the dedicated freight corridors which has come up, the push for the tourism and the education sector which has come up. I think we have opened up much more than the existing things which were only the roads and the renewable energy.
Right.
So definitely, I think it would be easy for us to see, 40-50% jump in our balance sheet size each year.
Okay, that's huge. That's quite interesting, ma'am.
Yeah.
Uh, you partly mentioned about the private capex. In fact, I have been trying to learn on this particular aspect from many speakers. So give me also your perspective. When I mean, there was always a story that government should focus more on the infrastructure. Now the government has been doing that. Government has been increasing its public capex, but the private companies or specifically private capex is not up to the mark. I mean, obviously there is some development there, but it's not still up to the mark. What is missing, ma'am?
What is missing is, basically, while, we have done fairly well at the center level, national level, what is missing
Right.
is, the state level or, going to the tier 2 and tier 3 cities. While we say that, they have well, Amrit scheme is going on and, 100 crore of benefit for 1,000 crore of mini bond, but the credit absorption capacities of these urban local bodies is really need to be enhanced. So capacity building at the urban local bodies, where there are, no clear matching of the revenues. While, at the center level, you can always, if I talk about national highways, you can always, give a toll and, recover what you have spent. In urban local bodies, the revenue structures are very, very skewed. So typically this, the infrastructure risk guarantee fund will come very handy to to be used at that place. And uh, it's like the money may flow given the structures are right.
Hmm.
What developers are looking, what lenders are looking is basically the structures, revenue structures need to be set right there. And
Right.
I think for the absorption capacity of these urban local bodies to increase, I think we all know a lot of, governance aspects and the accounting aspects which need to be
Yeah.
cleared up. And, again, while the, intent of the budget may be good, but when we look at, Urban Challenge Fund, which has been announced in the last budget, we still need to see a shape which may come up to this, because the implementation risk remains the key.
Right. My last question in two parts, ma'am. Now, given the whole idea of Vikasit Bharat, the reforms that the government has done, I think they said that they have made some 350, more than over 350 reforms they have already made. Do you think that this budget might push private capex? That is first part. And second part is also India has been looking at the foreign investments, not the FDI side, but the FDI side since really long time. There were one or two deals that happened in the banking side, but after this budget, do you see some, the FDI blooming up, maybe going ahead because the focus is on reforms, the focus is on Vikasit Bharat?
Yes, that will definitely go up. While we see those big bang things which may come up through, banking sector, which foreign investments are coming in, but then you'll have to look from the other side, all the InvITs. Who are the platforms who are holding these? These are majorly the foreign platforms we are holding it, or the Canadian pension funds, Abu Dhabi pension funds,
Right.
GIC and all. So it's not that it's not coming. And I think finance minister did mention that, the InvIT and the REIT structure will have to be used more extensively, because it is like ultimately the monetization of the wealth you have already created. So
Hmm.
I think in that form, that will keep coming in major form to the country. And, ultimately the macros, if they are right, the flow of FDI is, automatic. And I think we are in the right space right now as far as the macros are concerned in the economy.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much for your time, and let's hope
Thank you.
not just macro, but your micro story picks up really well, and let FDI and the private capex also boost in this country. Thank you so much for your time and sharing
Thank
those
you.
meaningful thoughts, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.